Thank you. Once again, I want to start by saying I'm very appreciative of being here. It's been just a great experience for myself, and I'm sure for a lot of other people. I come to you in search for guidance and understanding. Currently, right now, I have a situation where it has to do with family. And I guess my question is, I am trying to set my environment to be where my alignment and my disc is high. I'm the kind of person that likes to be alone and likes to be, I guess have time to myself. However, I feel like I do get a type of discord when I'm not with or not present with my family. And in a sense, I guess I feel obligated to spend time and to be with them and to do things with them. But why I choose my own time is because I feel like I'm on such a higher disc with that.
When you talk about wanting or feeling like you need to sort of control your environment in order to positively affect the vibrational disc that you're on, so to speak, we want to remind you that controlling your vibrational environment is a better way of approaching that. In other words, if you can find some way of improving your vibrational environment, then your physical environment doesn't matter so much. And therefore, we want to say that there's some conditional living in that under these conditions I'm having a hard time. In fact, you put yourself in a sort of no-win situation when you say, I prefer this, but I need to do this. And I'm not yet ready to pronounce myself to do what I want to do, but I'm not happy since I'm not doing what I want to do. And of course, you can't control the conditions, and you can't suddenly, any more than you can just jump over the house. You can't change your vibrational point of view about something either, but you can just start leaning that way a little bit. Most people, we're just going to be really blunt here, most people want to be around other people from their point of vulnerability. Most people seek being around other people from their point of view of not being enough or not having enough. And so when you do find a way, maybe by being alone more, of tapping into who you really are, then when you're with people, it's not for that reason. Then you're adding to. Here's another way of looking at it. Rather than paying any attention to what you're getting back from others, let your attention for a little while be only about what you're giving off to others. Think about what you're flowing, not about what you're getting, what you're flowing. So here's the question that we want to ask, and this is an important distinction, and you'll be able to answer it easily. Do you think that your desire to be with others is out of your desire to be uplifted by them, or because of your desire to uplift them?
I feel like
you called it obligation or responsibility. Yes. But who's the obligation to, them or you? Does it make them happy to be with you? Do they say that to you?
Correct.
We need to be with you in order to feel good.
Sure.
Don't be a stranger.
Well, and exactly. And I feel like that's why, of course, they want my presence. And it's not that I'm having such a hard time being with them. I just enjoy more the time for myself.
Then do some of all of it. Segment in 10, do some of all of it. Does it have to be one way or another?
No.
Are you all having a little claustrophobia about being on this vessel together? Every now and again they take you to a gangplank and they let you off for a little while, let the leash out just a little bit, and then they call it back. You've been in close quarters with one another. For most of you, closer quarters than you're ever in. These are not big cabins.
Correct.
So can you cope mentally and vibrationally?
I guess where the discord happens is then, I feel like I stay a lot at a step one moment because I have...
Well, if that's the case, then move yourself away. If you're saying that I cannot control the way I feel in this environment,
yep.
And my assessment is that I'm pushing against things predominantly, knowing what I don't want, knowing what I don't want, knowing what I don't want, asking for something different, then there's a really good reason to do something different. if that really is the way you feel. And it is, and it's all right. But that means do something different. But it's hard for some of you because you become so service-oriented. Esther has said about herself that she will buy a car from someone just because they want to sell it to her.
Yeah.
She really doesn't even have a need or a place or a use for another car, but it was such a nice person and so well-intentioned and with such powerful desire. And so it was hard to resist, you see. And some of you just are pleasers. In other words, you can see the difference that you make in an environment. And it is part of what you call your service. And you are born uplifter. There's no question about that. But when it gets out of balance like that, where the very thing that you feel like you were born to do is hard to sustain because you're not in the service, you're not able to sustain your alignment, then it's out of balance and it's time for a change, time for a different look at it. And sometimes it takes quite a bit of that experience, that step one experience, in order for you to come to that conclusion. And that does not mean that it was wrong for you to be in the step one. It means that step one served you just like you knew it would, and now you're coming to a stronger decision. So what you're grappling with here is, do I really have the right to come to a conclusion about what really is better for me? I'm not used to it. I'm used to letting most of my decisions be muted by how someone else feels about it. Oh, I get a little bit of my own, but I don't take it all for myself. I make sure that everybody else is happy a little bit too. So it's like giving yourself up, giving yourself away unnecessarily, and it never really fills them up because that's not where they need to get theirs either. They're not getting it from you. And in their thinking that they're getting it from you, or you thinking that they are getting it from you, you enable them not to get it from where they really need to get it from. So you might just lovingly say to them, I love being with you guys, but you're sucking the life out of me. We're attempting to be playful in a very honest way.
This isn't, I guess, just like friends, that kind of come and go. When it's my family, I just want them to see that same perspective in terms of just me just trying to find myself and my inner being.
You got to teach through the clarity of your example. You see, if you don't get out there and be joyful on your own, then they're not ever going to see you that way. They're going to worry about you leaving the nest, or they're going to worry about you being gone too long. You've got to demonstrate your autonomy. You've got to demonstrate your alignment. Everyone that you love wants for you, most of all, your happiness. But you've got to find it in order to demonstrate it. You can't fake it, you see. And this may surprise you. Here's a nugget. It may seem with those around you who benefit by your attention to them, it may feel to you like what they really want from you is what's best for them, but they really do, at a soul source level, want your happiness. That is the most amazing gift that you could give to anyone, is your happiness. And how often do you play your happiness down so that those who aren't that happy won't feel bad about it? You do, don't you? You hold your happiness back because you don't want to stick out like a happy sore thumb at a family reunion.
Yeah.
And so you've got to teach the clarity of your example, and you just can't get there any other way than just accepting that it's all right for you to feel good. And then, these are strong words, and we mean them with all of the strength that we can offer them to you, all of the clarity of infinite intelligence. You have to mean it when you say you want to feel good. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. All of your gifts, everything that you are, everything comes from that. That is the most important thing for you to take for yourself. And if you give it up for any reason, it's not a good enough reason, no matter what the reason is. And people around you get very creative in expressing their need for you.
And that's where I guess I get myself in a sort of a bind, because once again, I feel like that by me being out and by finding my disc and doing these things, that they're kind of like, well, does he not want to be around us? Does he just not like us? And
Pretty much. But you've already missed the point of what we said earlier. If it is true, and it is, that what they most seek relative to you is your happiness, then if you're out there happy, that's going to help them in the missing of you. If you're out there miserable, then they want to bring you back into the fold. If you're out there complaining or not thriving, then they're worrying about you. But if you're thriving and loving, you're not walking away from them. You're not turning your back on them. You're turning your wholeness toward them. You're not leaving them behind. You'd like them to join you in wherever you are. They're in your thoughts a lot.
And that's what I needed, I guess, to understand, because they are in my thoughts.
Yeah. Take them forward with you. The conversation that we just had with our psychotherapist friend, brilliant woman, who, as the information was coming to her from those who had known this person before, she felt an aversion to it. So now in this case, you are your own psychotherapist. You are your own person, and you are your own counselor to this person. You must not bring all of the records of your relationship with your family into your now. That was then, this is now. That was then. That was before so much step one that caused you to put more clarity into your vortex. That was before this week of clarity on board this vessel. That was before you found more consistent alignment with who you are.
Exactly. Once again, I've learned so much just about myself on just the recent experiences, the recent talks, and I almost feel more strong about my decision making in that, which I feel like I do what I want. And like I said, I just want to reassure them that they're on my mind and that they're in my heart.
Here's what we've been noticing about you. You are doing more and more of what you want, but you feel guilty about it, which is almost not worth doing. You've got to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to expect them to be all right. And give yourself permission to expect them to expect you to be all right. Which means you got to practice those thoughts. And when you get a little flicker of evidence of that, focus on that and really give that your attention so that you keep it active long enough that law of attraction can bring some other things around.